Hello, everybody. Today, I'm asking you to take a stand, a proposed solution. In fact, that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. Traditionally, this is considered persuasive writing. So what you're doing whenever we're asking you to take a stand is to seek to persuade the audience to accept a particular position on a controversial issue. It doesn't necessarily have to be super controversial, but if everybody agrees, you're really not going to be able to, you're not really taking a stand. You're also not going to be persuading anybody to your side because everybody already agrees. Whenever you propose a solution, you describe the problem and you propose the solution and provide justifications of why that is the solution. So we're going to start off by doing we're going to do a writing prompt that you can join in on. There's actually a couple of strategies I'm going to show you real quick of how to take a stand. And that's what we're going to be looking at. The first one is the Hamburger Approach. In this approach, the writer takes a stand and recognizes the opposition and then counters the opposition. Again, so basically your opinion is the hamburger bun, and then the opposition, the counter argument, is the meat in the middle. And so in bold is the counter argument. So here's how this would work. Proposition 25 is simple a reform that will break the gridlock and ensure that budgets will be passed on time. This is important because when last year's budget ran late, the state issued 450,000 IOUs to small businesses, state workers, and others who do business with the state. This ended up costing taxpayers over $8 million in interest payments alone. Passing Proposition 25 will discourage this from happening again, as it holds legislators accountable when they do not do their jobs, actually docking their salaries every day that the budget is late. So that's their opinion originally. Here's the counter argument that they're going to provide. Opponents of this proposition scream that this is misleading because politicians would never support an initiative that would cost them money out of their own wallets. Then they're going to react to the counter argument. They are wrong. The language of the budget clearly states that their pay reduced, and what's more, they cannot legally recover any of this lost money after the budget is finally passed, because this possible loss of personal income. Proposition 25 will motivate lawmakers to agree on a timely budget. Then you have the set them up and knock them down approach. So that was the Hamburger approach that we looked at first, where you first start off with your opinion, provide what people would say as a counter argument, and then respond to the counter argument. So you're kind of buffering both sides you're acting as the hamburger bun for the counter argument in the middle. Here's how the set them up and knock them down works. In this approach, the writer begins with the counter argument and then spends the rest of the paragraph knocking it down, tearing it down. So here's how you do this. Opponents of Proposition 25 scream that the initiative is misleading because politicians would never support a law that would cost them money from their wallets. They are wrong. The language of the budget clearly states they'll have their pay reduced, and what's more, they cannot legally recover any of this lost money after the budget is finally passed. Because of this possible loss of personal income, Proposition 25 will motivate lawmakers to agree on a timely budget. Proposition 25 will simply reform that will break the gridlock, ensuring the budgets will be passed on time. This is important because when last year's budget ran late, the state issued 450,000 IOUs to small businesses, state workers, and others who do business with the state. This ended up costing taxpayers over $8 million in interest payments alone. Passing Proposition 25 will discourage this from happening again, as it holds legislators accountable when they do not do their jobs, actually docking their salaries every day the budget is late. Opponents to this proposition scream that is misleading because politicians would never support an initiative that would personally cost them. This argument is a red herring. We do not need the politicians to support it. We need the voters of California to make it law when the politicians have to abide by it. So those are the two options. So you have the hamburger, where you start off with your opinion, provide a counter argument, and then address the counter argument, or you start off with the counter argument and then tear down the counter argument the entire time. So those are your two kind of options that you go about, like, taking other side's opinions. And that's the big thing with this. Like, you need to adhere to what the other side has to say. You need to look at what the other side has. Often whenever y'all do opinionated writing, you only focus on your opinion, but you never look at outside perspectives. You need to address outside perspectives, and by doing that, that strengthens your argument. So here's the assignment for the day. Would you rather? So either in a group or by yourself, technically, I guess you could do like a shared Google thing if you want to, as a virtual student. You need to write at least 250 words over one of these two prompts. So you're writing 250 words over one of these two prompts. So you're going to select only one of these two. First one, would you rather be able to fast forward life or rewind it? Why? So would you rather fast forward or rewind it? Why? And would you rather be able to pause the world around you or silence it? Why? So would you rather have a pause button or a mute button, or a fast forward or a rewind button? And then explain why. If this is done in a group, make sure you note who came up with what in your writing. And then if it is done solo, please consider why people might select the one that you didn't select. So if you say fast forward, why would people say rewind? If people said pause, why would they say silence? That type of thing right there. So that is the assignment for today. I will be back tomorrow to talk to you about, we'll be doing a 4-square thing for arguments. So I'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.